In this episode, we discuss how to have fun in Los Angeles during the worst viral outbreak in a century. So if you're wondering how you can have some fun in LA without people shaming you, then you'll love this episode of the Los Angeles Podcast. Hello, I'm Joe Copeland, a lifetime resident of Los Angeles, and I love the great outdoors.
Hello, and I'm Jay Guzman, also a native of Los Angeles, and everyone thinks I'm contagious, so keep your distance.
All right, well, before we get started, I'd like to let our listeners know that more information on working, loving, and living in Los Angeles can be found on our website at thelosangelespodcast.com.
We'd also like to mention that you can stream and download the Los Angeles Podcast using your favorite mobile app or music services such as Spotify, Stitcher, and YouTube, and SoundCloud. And
we'd also like to thank our show supporters from Patreon. To become a Patreon and support this show, head over to thelosangelespodcast.com/support. We just recorded our bonus show today, and we discussed some good shows that you might want to watch on Netflix. We discussed some coronavirus shaming activities that are going on. And we discussed
donut shops.
Donut shops. That's right. So if you're interested in hearing some of that, head on over to our show and become a Patreon. All right. Well, let's get on with our main topic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'd have to say that I've been very proud of the citizens of Los Angeles for taking the coronavirus pandemic seriously. You know, I went shopping at Sam's Club actually during the week. I forgot to mention this.
Oh, yeah.
And this was over in Santa Clarita.
Mm-hmm.
And I was really surprised that about a good 95% of the people were wearing face masks. And yeah, I felt pretty safe, you know. And also, they weren't even letting everybody in. You had to like wait outside.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time I got to the front, the lady says, you know, you have to wait because we're only allowed to have 300 people inside the store.
That's really cool.
Yeah, I'm like 300 people. And when I went in there, it was like the place was empty. So
yeah,
those stores can hold a lot of people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, almost everybody's wearing a face mask. And I was too, you know, just to kind of be polite. But there might be a rule, too, that, you know, you can't go in. No, there's not a rule because there was people there without face masks, you know, shopping. But not many, I'd say.
I thought there was. I thought it was all LA County was supposed to have every business that is functioning supposed to regulate people wearing masks. You can turn people away if they're not. But, you know, maybe some people just get away with it because they wear a mask in, but then they take it down.
Yeah. You know, things are just changing so rapidly. So probably by the time I went shopping early in the week, by the end of the week, they probably got a rule that says no. What is that sign? No shirt, no shoes, no face mask, no service.
That's right. The printers are going to be like running new signs to post out. I remember the time when wearing a face mask was, you know, awkward and so unusual. Look at us now. We're like all wearing one. I even have one in my pocket of my sweater so that if suddenly I have to go in somewhere, I have one to reach to wear. But you're right. It's like a good citizen thing. Like you want to do your part and everybody's just, you know, feeling the self-awareness to do that.
Yeah, I'd say overall, you know, a good 95% of the people in public are wearing masks, and that's a good thing because it does keep the virus from spreading. You know, they've done some studies on a couple ships. I think the French Navy and the American Navy. The American Navy, they had, I think maybe 600 people test positive out of 3,000.
Wow.
And of those that tested positive, 60% didn't even know they had the virus. So they were asymptomatic.
Yeah.
So what that means is they're spreading the virus and they're never even getting ill.
Yeah.
So a lot of the health, you know, professionals in the government are thinking there's tons of people walking around with the virus and they just don't even know. So the advice for everyone to wear a mask, even if you feel healthy, is a good thing because you could infect other people and not be aware.
Yeah, that's a great idea. And hopefully people, you know, will stick with it because I know there was some, you know, dissent. Recently people were complaining in San Diego about, having their liberties infringed upon, and, they're not happy with it. We're America and we shouldn't have to be, told to stay indoors. It's like, it seems irrational and totally wrongheaded to be pushing that agenda right now. But yeah, it's all of our safety. The whole, population here is in jeopardy.
The thing is, we won't know till it's all over, whether, people are, whatever decisions they're making, is if they've gone overboard or they didn't do enough, I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. Sometimes I don't want to die, but then, hey, I want everyone else to get back to work. Okay.
Yeah.
But you can't go back to work, and not be in contact with people.
Yeah.
I don't know. I almost think, I don't know. It's just a tough call.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
The good thing is the majority of people are really positive. There's a lot of good energy out there at work. When I'm out and about, people are very vocal. They're acknowledging, people who are working. They're thankful. They're grateful. And it's a good sign. People generally seem a lot more friendlier. And LA residents are really proving to be, what's the word? Rising to the occasion.
Yeah, I think LA's done a fantastic job. There's other places in the country where they have some pretty strong outbreaks, and Los Angeles is actually not one of them.
Yeah.
So I'm very proud to be a Los Angelino, and proud of my fellow neighbors for doing their part to keep the virus from spreading.
Yeah.
Ultimately, if you're worried about catching the virus, it's really up to you. To put on your mask, okay, and a good mask, an N95, or even the N100 masks, even filtered to a greater level. I know they're hard to get right now, but they'll be out there. You put a high-quality mask like that on, you could be in a room full of viruses, and, the chances of you catching it are, very small.
Yeah.
Ultimately, I would say if somebody is afraid of catching the virus, that's a decision that they've made for themselves, but they can't expect everyone else in the world to be afraid just because they're afraid.
Yeah.
I'm personally not afraid. Okay. I'll go out. If I get it, I get it. I roll the dice, but that's how I want to live.
Yeah.
So I'm not saying everyone has to live like that. I just say, hey, if you're afraid, do what you got to do. Keep your mask on 24 hours a day. Lock yourself in your room and, just, keep it to yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I witnessed some of this in my personal life not too long ago, so I can totally relate.
Yeah.
Some people really take it a little far, and I like you. I want to have a little balance and try to be conscientious and thoughtful, but yeah, it could be a little difficult to accommodate others who are a little more, extreme about the fear.
I was pumping gas over at a gas station in Granada Hills, okay? And there was a couple of Armenian guys having a big argument, okay? They were talking Armenian, and then I don't know, what they were talking about, okay?
Kobe Bryant didn't die. He's alive.
But one thing, the guy, before he took off, said, "You should be wearing a fucking face mask. You're going to kill somebody,"
Oh my God.
That was like his final, swing at him before he sped away in his, souped up BMW.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, brother, everybody's taking the high ground because of the coronavirus.
Yeah. It is funny. And it's been hard, and people have gotten to be creative because, it's exhausting to just be home and watching the news, and most of the coverage is always, negative or some kind of alarming story about new statistics. Or worse, you get the president who's misleading people and suggesting that everything's fine and we can go back to normal, and not really giving a clear direction for the nation. But yeah, people are like fed up. They're so ready for the next step, and in this new level of isolation is exhausting. But yeah, hopefully today we can, share some of the things we've seen other people doing to be fun and to engage in new ways with other people and find entertainment.
Yeah, I don't know if you've noticed. Let's see, today is April 19th,
Yes.
okay? And the freeways are getting a lot more clogged. Have you noticed that? So people are getting out.
Yeah.
The past couple of weeks, it was like it was desolate.
Yeah.
But now it's like, whoa, the cars are slowing down on the freeway. What's going on? Is there an accident?
Yeah.
Oh, no, it's just congestion.
Exactly.
So something's happening. People are definitely getting out.
Yeah, there has to be a level of people that are, pushing the boundaries and saying, fudge it. I'd rather be at work than be stuck at home, or they're doing something different, shopping or trying to find whatever they need. But I agree. Yeah, I've seen that too. Red lights in the freeway. And I'm like, holy crap, there's plenty of activity out here. It doesn't look like it is affecting everyone.
And it can't be shopping because there's no place to shop.
Yeah.
Right? There's grocery shopping, of course, and a few takeout restaurants, but that's about it. So wonder where are all these people going?
Yeah.
I don't know,
Maybe to get a good haircut somewhere.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the one thing you notice right now. Everybody's hair is longer than usual.
Really? Yeah. Mine too. It's been a long time since my hair has been this long. I kind of know what it's like for a woman to wash her hair.
That's right.
Might have to start blow drying it at night if this continues.
Are you using conditioner? Because your split ends look atrocious.
So, anyway, so we're talking about some fun things to do. Well, I did something fun other than shopping at Sam's Club, which was fun. It's nice to go out and, live a normal life and look at things that I would like to buy, but I can't buy right now.
Yes.
Right. So what I did was I went to the Antelope Valley into the Mojave Desert, which is probably one of the most desolate places on earth. Okay. If you want to see the stars at night, I can't think of a better place, around here anyways.
Minimal light pollution.
Yeah. It's very empty from one horizon to the other. And, this time of year, I think we mentioned on a previous podcast I was going to go out there, and I did. And, it was great. Man, the poppies are in bloom big time.
Yeah.
You're in an area, like a sea of orange. It was so cool driving to that area. I actually took a different path this time. You could take the 5 or you could take the 14, but I took a more direct route through Green Valley.
Canyon.
Yeah, San Francisco Canyon.
Can
that's
you
a mouthful.
Say that? Yeah, that's a terrible name for a street.
I can't say it fast 5 times, but and as soon as you got out of that area and headed to the Antelope Valley, it was like, whoa, it was really cool to come up over a hill and all of a sudden see orange everywhere. Yeah, it was nice. So took some good pictures, had a little picnic, If anybody wants to head on out there, April, May, I don't know how long the poppies will last, but just Google Antelope Valley Poppy Reserve. There's actually a state park over there, but right now the park is closed. And I thought, well, the park's closed, but, the fields aren't. Well, they had a ranger blocking the entrance to the Poppy Reserve. Okay, just sitting there doing nothing but blocking but it's that's just a very small portion. I mean, we're talking 1% of the whole desert, if that.
Yeah, it's the region that's blooming, not the one part. Yeah,
right. So I just drove around. There was just so many amazing places to walk around. Take photos. And there's a bunch of other people doing the same thing. There's some high voltage transmission lines.
What?
There's this road, a really nice dirt road that goes through the desert because the power company has to keep the roads paved. Obviously, they got to maintain the equipment with heavy trucks and stuff. So it was a good road. And a lot of people were using that road to access the poppies deep into the desert.
Yeah.
And I did too, and it was great. You just walk out there, take pictures. Everyone's taking selfies, laying down, covered in poppies, It was a lot of fun. Kids, old people.
Yeah.
And the great thing is the desert is so big. This whole 6-foot rule thing, just doesn't get violated unless you intentionally want to, go up and talk to somebody.
Yeah. And it's wide enough and big enough that you can intentionally avoid having anyone you want. You don't have to be, infringing on someone's space or comfort level if you don't want to.
Yeah. So if you're looking for something fun to do, I highly recommend that trip. It won't cost you a dime other than gasoline. And I also recommend pack a lunch because there's no place to eat out there.
Yeah.
I also recommend bringing plenty of liquids because
it was warm.
It's very warm. There's no 7-Elevens around there, and I think it would be really cool if you brought some orange Fanta to celebrate the blooming of the poppies.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, in honor of the orange.
Yeah, so I'm actually going to go back there again in a couple weeks because I believe there's probably going to be another super bloom just because last week it was raining all week, consistently. And I'm probably thinking in a couple more weeks, it's going to be even better. So we're talking late April, early May. Yeah. Yeah, definitely worth a visit.
That's cool. You know what? My whole life I've lived here and I've always known about it, but just never really caught on because some years it doesn't bloom. And I've not been able to make it out in a couple of years. I know the area, but I've not been in a bloom in a very long time. So hopefully this week, since I am going to be off, I might migrate myself that direction.
Oh, yeah.
And hopefully I'll find myself in a picnic situation as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe bring someone with you. Okay.
Yeah. I normally do everything alone, but this is a perfect opportunity to go with someone.
I mean, alone is fine as well. Bring a lawn chair.
Yeah.
Okay, I saw several people just out in the middle of nowhere with a lawn chair.
That's kind of cool.
And just reading a book. A beautiful day. The sun felt good. One of those situations that you can't do all year round.
Yeah.
And actually, some years you'd be very disappointed. There's nothing out there. Yeah. But now's the time. So, yeah, definitely check it out if you got some time.
Awesome tip. One of my recent observations, sadly, I work too much to enjoy myself like everyone else. But, I've seen a lot of people out just doing what looks like really good introspective activities, like people walking dogs and training dogs and other people just walking with one individual and having what looks like a quality conversation with each other. Pacing, some people were doing, what do you call it? Solitary, like Tai Chi, where they're just by themselves and they're doing poses and stuff.
Oh, yeah. I call that slow motion Kung Fu.
That looks so fun. This guy was doing it and it caught my attention because I thought he was a mime just holding a pose, but slowly he was moving around. And yeah, it just looks like a cool thing to do. And just like yoga, people have poses, laying dragon or whatever, squirrel, whatever positions they call them. There has to be some postures that you can learn to do if you Google them for Tai Chi. It would be so much fun to like do a few and know a few poses, I think I would enjoy it myself if I had that kind of free time to do something fun in LA.
I didn't know you had to learn it. I've always just faked it, and it works out good.
You fake it till you make it?
Yeah, I just do Kung Fu Panda in slow motion.
Yes. I know. That's the only pose I do know is the, the Karate Kid, arms up in the air and the one leg up, That's the extent of my Tai Chi and karate.
The crane, the snake.
That's it, the crane. Yes. But I'm envious of those people that are just finding good, new things to do with themselves. Maybe occasionally if you can get a tennis racket and get out to a tennis court, if that's possible, that's another awesome thing to do.
Yeah.
You're far enough away from the other player.
Yeah, you would think so. But, the parks are all closed down. I've tried to go to parks. I mean, I've been going out to eat, get some breakfast or lunch and, scouting around some nice parks in the city.
Yeah.
The parks are open, but the playgrounds are closed. They got them all taped up.
That's right. Yeah.
But I've been out there discovering. I found a new park out in Granada Hills called Bee Canyon Park. Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I wrote a blog post on Bee Canyon Park and the Poppy adventure that I went on. So it's over there on the LosAngelesPodcast.com/blog.
And there's good photos?
Yes, photos of the poppies and a little write-up on how to get there, maps and all that. So, Bee Canyon Park was really a nice little neighborhood park. I really enjoyed it. I probably spent a couple hours there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, me and my wife, we just walked around, big trees. Yeah. It was very hot that day, so it's nice to walk in the shade. And, found a nice bench and just sat under it, Forrest Gump style for about an hour, just talking, So it was good. So it was a park I'd never been to, but driven by several times. And it's next to a territory called O'Melveny Park,
Oh yeah.
which apparently, if you follow the trails there, you're over in Newhall and Stevenson Ranch
In no
from
time
Granada
at all.
Hills. Where I'm like,
Wow.
whoa, interesting,
Yeah.
So it's huge.
It's a good distance from those two cities.
And you wouldn't even realize where you're at. The mountains kind of, segregate you from other
Yeah.
sections of the city. But when you look at it on Google Maps, which I did, I'm sitting on the park bench
Yeah.
saying, where does this old Melveny Park go? It's like this special county space. And you could kind of like see the trails and stuff. And it's like, oh, wow. You could head on all the way over to the Santa Clarita Valley, which, the only way I know how to get there is to drive, on the 5 freeway through, the Newhall Pass. But yeah, there is a old way of doing it.
Wow.
Which is, on foot.
A good hike. Yeah. It must have been a good 4-hour adventure, I'm sure, to hike from one end to the other.
Well, I didn't do the hike, but I just looked at it saying, one of these days, I think that would be a good way. But hey, if you're looking for something fun to do, there are plenty of trails outdoors where you won't see another person for miles. So, like this O'Melveny Park, you ain't going to see anybody there. Okay. Over in the desert, the poppy field, or go check out the Joshua trees over there too. That's kind of cool. Head over to Palmdale area.
Yeah.
And, just kind of enjoy the natural landscape.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. It seems like we're in a good pause, right now where everybody could just really dial it back and really think about their future, appreciate what they have, and maybe communicate with people that they normally wouldn't have the free time to do. Hopefully, you're one of those people that's reaching out to people that you've lost touch with, old friends from high school, or people that you always say, oh yeah, I'd love to catch up, but never have the free time. There's no better time to do that. I'm more optimistic that, someone's going to call me soon because I haven't heard from anyone yet.
Anyways, those are just a few of the things to go have fun. The fun is out there. You don't necessarily have to go to the big crowded cities to have fun, sporting events and concerts and, the beaches. There's plenty of great outdoors. Los Angeles is not just the city. It's also the wilderness. Okay. You hit up the to Tugga Canyon up there. What is that off the Los Angeles National Forest there?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful place.
Yeah, and even in neighborhoods, you're right. It's not just a big city, but yeah, there's lots of little small, surprisingly nice little communities that have their own little, cute streets or cute local parks that you can walk around, or homes that have really beautiful, landscaping that you can just drive to and park around those homes, and then take a nice walk around places that are, different than your own neighborhood.
That's a great idea. Some drive-through fun, you know? Hey, why don't you just drive through Beverly Hills and check out mansions, okay?
Exactly.
It's kind of cool. Actually, when I head up to the poppy fields again in about a couple of weeks, I'm going to head over to Tehachapi. Just kind of check that area out. We talked about it, I think, in episode 1. And I'll probably have to pack a lunch. I don't know what's open over there. But hey, I'm kind of in the neighborhood, and it's not a very congested area. So if you want to have fun, there's plenty of non-crowded places to enjoy yourself and get out of the house. Okay? And of course, if you're, worried about catching something, put a mask on. Yeah. And, if you're worried you might infect somebody else, well, also put a mask on.
Good tip.
All right. Well, let's get on with our next show segment called Trivial LA, where Joe or Jay asks one or the other a trivia question that someone who grew up in Los Angeles should know. So it's my turn.
All right, Joe.
Okay. So does Jay know this one? What is the official state flower of Los Angeles?
Oh, man, that's a good one.
Wait. I think I said that wrong.
Yeah, because a state versus a city.
There probably is a city flower, but what is the flower, the official flower of the state of California?
Okay, the official flower of state of California. I'm going to guess it's a weed.
That's the unofficial flower. That's the official flower of the San Fernando Valley.
Yeah. In all regions beyond.
Yes.
I
smell it everywhere I go nowadays.
Yeah, I know I'm becoming a better identifier. Like that is some stinkweed right there.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm inclined to say it's like a weed, but I don't remember the name of what I'm trying to think of. I give up. I have no idea.
Well, I learned this one in grade school.
Okay.
It's the California golden poppy.
You're kidding. It was that easy. What a softball.
Yeah.
I didn't even think that was possibly the answer.
Yeah. I don't even really think of it as a flower.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it is a flower.
But it blooms so infrequently. How would it be such a popularized? Yeah. Maybe 100, 200 years ago, that was a more regular bloom.
Possibly.
Yeah.
So,
well, that makes more sense. That's cool. What a good quiz. I didn't even think about the state flower. I never even think about those kinds of official titles.
All right. So, well, do you want to add anything else? Yeah. You know, we're actually going to start a new show segment. Okay. It's called Instagram LA. Mm-hmm. It's a place in Los Angeles that if you really like to take great photos, that you should go. Mm-hmm. Okay. So, I went to a place that's very Instagrammable this past week just to try to take a good Instagram photo. And it's very hard. And that is Randy's Donuts. Okay. I actually went there not for the donut.
No kidding. Yeah.
I went there to take a good picture.
Yeah, that iconic donut over the building. Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
So I went to the one off the 405 in Manchester in Inglewood. Okay.
Inglewood. Yes.
That's right. You type in Randy's Donuts on Instagram, you'll see tons of people just having fun and being very creative on making a donut shack with a big O on top, fun.
Yeah.
They'll have a donut in their hand and they kind of size it up with the other donut, or, they're trying to eat the big donut, all sorts of tricks like that.
Yeah, that's really cool. Just like people try to hold the Eiffel Tower in their palm of their hands with the perspective of distance.
Yeah. So there's plenty of Randy's Donuts. You know what I'll do? I'll put up a blog post on Randy's Donuts with all the locations and photos of the locations, in the southwest region of Los Angeles.
Yeah. I think another good Instagrammable picture that probably people have already, capitalized on is just the empty streets with just the architecture at night. The skyline and the empty streets with minimal traffic or minimal pedestrians. Those look kind of different and cool. I've seen other people taking their drones and flying around, and Facebook videos showing, empty streets with minimal or no traffic. That would be a kind of cool thing to do and see how creative people can get with their empty streets at night.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right. Well, that's Instagram LA. Mm-hmm. Hope you enjoyed that. And if you're into checking out these iconic locations, then continue to listen to this podcast, because every week we're going to drop a new one on you and drop it on the blog.
Yes. Okay, so that wraps up our show for this week. Thank you so much for joining us, and make sure that you check out our website and our blog post for more information. See you next week right here at the Los Angeles Podcast.
See you later.